is a company that it advertises itself as providing safe rides home for its passengers, but for thousands of women riders, this has not been the case. So Gizmodo reported on this and said that a California judge has ruled to consolidate 80 lawsuits against Uber from women who claim the company hasn't taken necessary steps to protect its riders from sexual assault. The ruling marks a major victory for the women who want to show the extent of the alleged sexual assault from Uber drivers. So every case, regardless of the state the crime originally occurred in, is going to be heard by California Judge Charles Breyer. This is a big deal because those documents are going to help show we believe that the sexual assault problem from drivers to riders is a massive problem, Brett Stanley, who's representing several of the victims, told NPR. He added that victims claim Uber isn't taking precautions to stop sexual assault before it happens, claiming the company conducts subpar background checks and doesn't remove drivers if they are accused of sexual assault. I don't know if you just heard what I said, but Uber is allowing drivers who have been accused of sexual assault to continue driving, and not just accused of sexual assault by anyone, accused of sexual assault by passengers. It hasn't been taking this seriously enough, aside from the fact that it hasn't been adding, necessary safety precautions in the first place to prevent this from happening. They're allowed to continue driving with impunity and inevitably continue to sexually assault passengers, and this has been going on for quite some time. A separate consolidated complaint was filed by Slater Schulman LLP last year on behalf of 550 women who claimed they were attacked by their Uber driver. The law firm claimed Uber knew its drivers were frequently sexually assaulting passengers as early as 2014. So they have known for a long time and not taken the necessary safety precautions to do anything to prevent what's going on until very recently. Now, women passengers are disproportionately the victims of these crimes, which include the following. Civil action alleged that women passengers in multiple states were kidnapped, sexually assaulted, sexually battered, raped, falsely imprisoned, stalked, harassed, or otherwise attacked by Uber drivers with whom they have been paired through the Uber application, the news release said. Now, just a few statistics on the prevalence of this. Uber published its second safety report last year, revealing it received 998 reports of sexual assault, including 141 reports of rape in 2020 alone. Uber added that it received a total of 3,824 reports of sexual assault between 2019 and 2020, ranging from non-consensual kissing of a non-sexual body part to non-consensual sexual penetration or rape. And Jackson, as a woman who sometimes has to take Uber, I've been put in very uncomfortable situations, and a lot of us have to be mindful of what's going on and protect ourselves. I had an Uber driver the other week that asked me if I was going home, which is an uncomfortable question because I don't want this Uber driver to know whether or not I live at this place. And then continued this very uncomfortable line of questioning about whether or not anyone was at home when I would get there. And they asked me if I was going to go right to bed when I got home, and it became this entire uncomfortable mess. And I eventually had to cancel the ride, and I just had him let me off on the side of the street because I was so scared. And I mean, obviously, I don't know if that was going to turn into something worse, but this is a fear that a lot of women carry with them, especially as they ride alone or in groups with other women. And Uber hasn't taken this seriously because they wanted to continue to grow their empire of ride sharing.
Yeah, and I think as you pointed out, oftentimes as a man, we all go through things in life and we all have our struggles. But as a man, you don't really realize a lot of the things that women will keep to themselves. And sometimes it's because it's too much to reveal for them, but sometimes it's just because it's just normal life. Women think about these types of things when they go to the store. Like typically if they tell their friends where they're going, they have their location shared, going out at night. And then too, again, just dealing with men. So many women have, just been abused by men physically, among other things. So this is definitely a general worry that women have going about their lives. And when it comes to Uber not taking action, I think this is also kind of a good, because I've worked in tech a lot. And one thing about tech that people often don't realize is that it's really hard to make a profit in tech, and Uber does not make a profit. And so much of gig platforms issues is anybody can join. You might have somewhat of a little bit of a background check, but how many people on staff do you really have that are really peering at that? Because if you have all these instances just going by, that's an indication that not that many people are looking at it, and the people who are looking at it don't want to pay for it, which is, again, Uber doesn't make a profit. So they just trying to save money, which is a huge negative indictment on the company itself. So there definitely need to be consequences for Uber so that an example can be set, not just for other ride sharing companies, but also just in the tech world. Like, we need a bit more oversight in who we are allowing to work for us.
Particularly in the tech field that is so male dominated, I feel like it's so easy for them to not even consider how women using their applications might be impacted by their actions. So we'll keep everybody updated on this trial as it continues.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.